What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Creative Series. This is episode 5, and today I just wanted to do a build. So last time we did a build pertaining to what we can do on Rockhouse and what we might be building there. We've done one for Red Cubed, and the other two were just miscellaneous. Today I'd like to do one for my flat core server. And also my flat world, I guess, if I ever need some inspiration. But basically, here are all the blocks that are pretty easy to get on a flat world, relatively. I'm gonna stay away from these ones as much as I can, just because on the flat core server, you know, nether quartz, quartz is dependent on, you know, other people on the server, and it's a different nether. It's a flat nether. Whether I can get it, whereas on my flat world I can farm it pretty much infinitely. So we're mostly going to be focusing on everything over here, and it looks like a pretty bland block selection. But for those of you who remember, I did do my haunted house out of these blocks. So I took a look at that, and there's some interesting things I think I can do with that. And yeah, I think it could be a really cool design. So I guess I just want to start here first and foremost with some arches, because I want to do something with like sort of an aqueduct looking thing. So we'll go for something like this. We'll go 3 wide on this, and we'll just do a few of these. So 3 wide, 3 wide, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. We can expand that later if we need. So now let's build it up a few blocks. Let's see. I guess we'll make this this side the inside of it, right? So we can put a backing block in a sec. But first, let's work on the arches themselves. Arches like this. So we'll put a stair on each side, going like this. Whoa, some misclicks there. And then we got this. And by the way, I should have a world download in the description this time. If I forget, just let me know. Now I'm going to steal something that I did on the haunted house, at least one part of it, which is putting the cobble stairs on top of these arches, because I think it looks nice. It's a bit of variation. And then we can do another one of these on the other side. But for a backing, I guess we can use wood. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I'd say that looks all right. So this is going to be sort of like a big fortifying wall. And I don't really know what I'm going to do on the flat core server. So we can just experiment with all sorts of buildings this episode, see what we come up with. Hopefully something that makes a little bit of sense and that leads our construction on the server a little bit, guides us. Okay, so here we go. Whoops, there we go. Yeah, there are some restrictions on that server, but there are also some opportunities that you don't get in a normal flat world, so it's pretty cool. So let me take a look at some reference photos I have here. Okay. All right. So let's see. What if we grab... we actually don't have over here a normal slab, so let's just grab one of those. Put it down. Because those are also pretty easy to get. And we could just have something like this. Going over here and filling in a sort of road. So right now I'm thinking almost like a sort of tiered city, if you know what I mean. So let me just fill this in real quick. Alright, so there we go. Looks something like that. Extended this, and I actually changed these to full cobble blocks instead of cobblestone slabs. And now we can, I forgot this is another material we have, is the cobblestone fence. So now we can fill that in like that, sort of fortify this up even a little bit more. And then So I'm thinking this layer will just be a wall, right? But then over here, so we can line this. A lot of repetitiveness with this so far. I'm thinking we can line this like that, and then have some sort of streets here. So first of all, let's see. Can we get like a sewer here? No. Well, maybe we should do that. Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me fill this in. Alright, so I added a little bit of a sidewalk here, and then now we can have some bigger arches. So we'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the middle here, and then place one. So is that 5? Yeah. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, place, and so on. And then we'll have it go up quite a bit. And I'm thinking we can have some sort of shops here built into the fortifying wall of the city, so like sort of on the lower tiers. And you know, this is just going to be like a miniature model almost of what the actual build might be like when finished. So let's try and do something. I'm almost thinking we need some stairs. So let's go grab our stairs here, and we'll get rid of this for now, I guess. And we can try and go down like 2 on each one, and then have it like that, like that. Whoops. And then maybe have some stone here like that. I think that could work. I don't know. I'm not liking it so far. What if we try doing one down? How's that going to come out? I got this Black Keys stuck in my head. Fever. They were just on SNL, and I actually like the Black Keys a little bit. So yeah, I was up late the other night. It was actually prom, and I was hanging out with my friends. It was the junior prom, but I was hanging out with my friends after prom, and you know, not the after prom, but you know, after the prom. And yeah, we were watching some Saturday Night Live, and that Fever song by the Black Keys was on. It's really stuck in my head. Fever, why don't you explain? Sorry about that. Just blew your eardrums out. I'm still not liking that, so I don't know what to do there. Let me just look at this. Perhaps we can build it up a little more. So in the back behind each of these, we can have some cobble like this. And this will kind of build into the storefront here. Like that. I'm almost thinking like that city from Lord of the Rings, the circular one with the big wall and like different tiers of houses, except not circular and not so white and Lord of the Rings fantasy-ish. More like this is the big fortifying wall of the city, but it's also inhabited by like the poor people and shops and stuff. It's a peaceful city, so you know they don't have to worry about attacks as much. This wall is more just built into the. It's a city built into the mountain. Let's say that. So that's why they don't have to worry about attacks and such. All right, so there we go. We got some pillars going on here, and now I think let's try just doing this, and then you know each shop face would be individualized, I suppose. So we'd have, you know, we'd fill these in here. We'd have, let's see, we need some wood here, so we'll grab that. We'd have our storefront like this, with possibly like this going on, and some of that. We'll get some smooth stone up in here, and someone lives above the shop like that. So, but each of these is going to be, you know, individualized. So let's grab some of these instead, like that. Yeah, I like the way that looks. And we can even build this further out, like that. So then you can have one that's just windows, perhaps, and not an actual store. Like this. And then just some wood above. You know, just sort of make it look like it's varied a little bit. So I can do that later. And then the next tier would be up there. So we can try and put some supports here all along. And then possibly build it out even one more so that it's something. So we'll have another street going along the top of here. And don't worry, I'm going to switch to the story in a second here. Just sort of still thinking aloud so you guys get a taste of my process here. I'll have that built up. And then I suppose we could do the stone bricks. Like this. That looks pretty good, I think. Yeah, that looks fine for that. So we'd have a bunch of houses here, this layer here, and then it'd go up to our next street layer. So we can fill this in real quick. Just go right over the tops of those pillars here. And I'm thinking this place could have a crazy sewer system too. Like if there was a sewer here, it would just like lead all the way down, and then below this road there would be some crazy sewers. That would be really cool. So then I'm thinking we kind of want something like a break here. And we can even have it continue like that. And then bring back our cobble slabs here. And make a staircase down so that the people from the city, you know, can move down. So we can build this out. Can't tell if it's thundering and lightning outside or what. And yeah, just build this out like this. So I think a straight one actually, straight staircase actually is gonna do us best in this situation. Sometimes I like to switch it up a little bit. It's getting hard to place these blocks here. There we go. And this one should be easy. And let's fill that in right there. Whoops. Okay, so we got stairs here. And then, of course, we could sort of fortify this like that. And do the same thing on this other side here. Alright, so we got that, and then have like these going across, maybe, and then fill the rest of it. And then put these cobblestone things like that. That could work. But I think I would do these all the way across if I were to do that. So let's do that. And I'm just about to switch to the story here. So hopefully you're getting a taste of what I'm thinking. Because that's kind of what this series is about. Is not only do I get to tell stories and build cool things, but you guys try and improve your building skills as well. Try and hear what I'm thinking. Really, I think building's mostly just about planning. Like, I feel like people don't plan out their builds very well. They just build a square, and then it's hard to make it look good in the end. If you just start with the idea, then you're good. Like, even right now, I just had the idea to make a wall. And this doesn't look half bad. It doesn't look great yet, but, you know, it doesn't look horrible. So I'm going to keep working on this, and we'll see what happens. Alright guys, so I suppose it's time for a story, and just because I'm about to graduate from high school, this is my last week. When this video goes up, this week on, I think, Friday will be my last day. So, and we don't even have class Friday, so, you know, it's the end of my senior year. And I thought I'd tell a few stories about teachers. I know I've told one teacher in particular, but I have a few other teachers who I had a lot of fun with. I used to goof off all the time in class, and they're fun stories to tell. So, you know, in honor and summation of my high school experience and my graduation, I'll tell you guys a few stories here right now. So, I had this one teacher freshman year, and this guy's really, really smart, but he's very, you know, he's mean, kind of, like, not mean, but he's kind of mean seeming, and he's tough, and, you know, he loves baseball, and anyways, he teaches science, and he would just, I remember he would just be like, build a speaker, because it was an engineering class, and then just like sit and type away, and we were like, what, what? And he was like, the materials are in the back, now build one. And whoever came up with the best design first won, and you couldn't look anything up, you just had to like figure it out based on what you knew about the world. And he would give us lectures on like magnets and stuff, and then we were like, okay, so it has to do with magnets. And eventually we got it. That was actually my favorite project because I got it first. All the other projects I sucked at. But anyways, I mean, this teacher, he was scary, he was tough, so you didn't want to cross him. But one of the things he did was, you know, we had to practice lab safety because it's a school, and I was carrying a hot glue gun without wearing any safety goggles. So, you know, he says to me, he's like, hey, what are you doing? You know, because I have this hot glue gun in my hand, it's all hot. It's like, you know, put on your goggles, and then I did it. And then I can't remember, but a few like a minute later, and he goes, hey Eric, would you do anything I told you to? And I was like, yeah, of course, you're my teacher. And he was like, all right, then touch that hot glue gun to your arm. And so, me being the crazy snarky kid I was, I actually touched the hot glue gun to my arm. So this thing is like, you know, it's all warmed up, it is hot, and I have it on my skin. It's like searing for only a second, and he goes, stop, stop, stop. He like panics because he's like, oh shit, you know, I could get in trouble, I could lose my job for this. So ever since that moment, he was like really petrified of me. Not really, but like I could tell I just kind of freaked him out after that a little bit, which was funny just because he was like, you know, the tough guy. And yeah, it ended up being that one time he caught me chasing another student with a box cutter, which was a joke, but very, very dangerous. Not a good thing to do in school. Not even a very funny joke outside of school, just because it's so dangerous. But he just said nothing and sat down. And I thought that was like the end of my high school when he saw me doing that. I was like, yep, I'm out of here. This is it. But I think he was kind of scared of me or something, because he just went and sat down without a word. He was just like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like, he seemed spooked. Anyways, I had another teacher. I had her 3 times, twice this year and once my sophomore year of high school. And she's a very idiosyncratic person, I guess you would say. And one of the funny things was, she's pretty oblivious. So like in sophomore year, we used to just go crazy with it. We used to there was this soup can that I stole from her desk. It was just like a can of soup that she was gonna eat for lunch, and we played like hot potato with it. We would roll it back and forth across the room, and this thing, you know, it's a soup can rolling on a tile floor. I would be like, whoa, 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 as it rolled across, and she never noticed. She never looked back like once. And so then it was there the next day and the next day and the next day, and we kept doing it, and it became tradition. Like, she never ate that soup can for whatever reason, and we just did it day after day after day. We rolled the soup can around, and then one day I rolled it real hard, and it curved real sharp and slammed into the wall, and she starts to turn around, and some kid just dives on the floor, like throws his whole body to cover up the soup can so she doesn't see, and she's just like, she looks and she's like, "What are you doing out of your seat? You know, get back in your seat. What the? No time for fooling around." It was really, really funny. We used to also, there was this joke, I've never seen Anchorman, but the I Love Lamp joke from there, these kids who sat behind me would always write I Love Lamp on things. So one time we covered up one of her posters in the class with a sign we made that said I Love Lamp, and then slowly, day by day, we would cover it up even more. So the next day it was like I Love Lamp on top of that with another poster, and then like 4 sticky notes that said I Love Lamp on top of that, and then another poster, and then like 2 posters. And so finally one day she saw it and she's like, "Hey, whoever's putting up these posters, stop." And it was during class, and she takes one down, and then there's another, and she takes that down, and then there's 2 underneath. She takes those down, then there's 4, and it was just so funny. She kept taking them down. Eventually she was even laughing just because, you know, it was classic. But yeah, that was really funny. We used to also like just see how far we could go with it. One time I got in a lot of trouble because she was turned around and I put a chair on top of a desk and a chair on top of that chair and sat down, and she didn't notice. But when she turned around and saw it, she knew who it was just because of who I am. And she got really mad at me for that one. But it was, you know, it was funny. But let's see, what else? Oh my god, there were so many fun times in that classroom. Like, she would check the homework, but like you could get away with just writing like on your old homework the like whatever the title of the new section was, and because that's all she really looked at was whether there was work on the page. So this one kid finally got caught after like months and months. It was like, I think it was like quarter 3, and his homework was like section 2 of the book from like the first couple of weeks of school, and it was so funny. And I used to do the same thing. I was just a little more subtle about it, as I would take notes during class and then make those into the homework. So but you know what I mean. It was a fun time. Oh god, I'm trying to think of other stuff. I had this one teacher, this English teacher, and she was really fun, but she was kind of like I don't know, crazy old woman. She's not old, but she just has that like crazy old woman sort of feel, you know what I mean? And so we were reading a separate piece, and she was like, I'm the kind of kid who walks around the school singing all the time and doing that sort of thing. I'm very outgoing, and so she needed someone to get on the desk and reenact the part where one of the kids gets pushed out of a tree and breaks his leg. So when she calls on me, I like devise a plan going up. I was like, when she pushes me, because she wanted me to be the kid that gets pushed, because I'm like a drama guy. I could act it up and make it funny. And I was like, when she pushes me, I'm just going to like relax my muscles and smack the floor. So we get up on the desk and she pushes me, and I just like completely relax my muscles and completely fall down on the floor and slam into the ground. It makes the loudest noise in the world. And she's like, she's like so concerned. She's like, what have I done? It was so funny. It actually did hurt a lot. It really did, but it was so funny. It was worth it. I do sort of things like that all the time. Yeah, there were some other ones too, like going back to that math teacher I was talking about. We kidnapped her Barbie doll once and like held it hostage. We like tied it up with rubber bands, and it was horrifying, quite frankly. We also had this plant that we grew, and every day we would add on to the name, and it was like this big long name. I actually still remember most of it. It was Bonsasha Laranton, Defelamelon, Niquadrea, Tifa, Quisha, Rochelle, Oprah, Denia, Quiet, Pants on Fire, Rwanda, Rotunda, or something. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it was a fun time. So those are just some of the stories. I have a lot more, but I don't want to chew your ear off. So without further ado, here's the end of the episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stories. Hey guys, so I hope you enjoyed the time lapse and the story. My red box doesn't work, man. I set up a red box over there that's supposed to like do stuff with command blocks. It doesn't work. I don't know, man. I don't know command blocks. Anyways, I tried a few different building styles out. Here were a few things. This is taken directly from my haunted house build. It's something I call basically a harmonica building, because it always reminds me of a harmonica, but it's an easy way to build bridges. You can see I kind of used it over here. I use it a lot. It's got the logs and then the windows in between. It kind of does look like a harmonica a little, but it usually makes for a pretty cool looking building. So I used it over here. I was just experimenting. Decided that wasn't the look I wanted to go for the flat core world. So even though it looked really cool in the haunted house. So I was also, I was building this wall, and then I was trying out this Greek style here that I saw on Reddit, something similar a long time ago. So I was just trying to remember it, and I remembered it had wood and it had leaves and some quartz mixed in, and I think this came out okay. I mean, this is just a facade, by the way. I didn't build the whole thing. I didn't bother, just because I'm kind of experimenting here. But I do think it looks a little funky. Quartz just is my favorite block. I like the accent, but it's kind of hard to tie into the rest of the build. So I didn't want to go with that either. I mean, maybe if I had done a stone brick roof and then maybe instead of cobble for the body, maybe something more wooden, but I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to say. But then I was working on this wall, and I made this big ramp that I didn't like, so I just decided to do stairs like this. And I like the base here, I like the road. I kind of like the idea of having shops inset into the cliff here. And I built these big walls, which I think look cool. Maybe could even go a little higher, because let's see, what Y are we at right here? We're at 33 right here. We would want to go probably above 40. Because that's above where slime level is, and so we'd probably go like 50 or so, maybe even 60. So this would be quite a bit taller, maybe up to here, and then we could have this big old doorway, which I really liked. I think it was the best part of this. So you can almost imagine this wall copied on the other side, and there's this humongous doorway into the base. And in here, I was thinking, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me! I was thinking some sort of pirate cove cavern thing in here, and then yeah, because I want this to be all sort of inset into a mountain. So if you can imagine, this path is sort of just like going straight into this giant mountain here. That's kind of what I was envisioning. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll come out cool if I pull it off. But yeah, well, like I said, we'll see. So yeah, that's the plan for now, and yeah, like I said, hopefully it'll be really cool. I'm just thinking about it. I want to build something like this on the flat core server. I want it to be really impressive. Obviously, it would sort of wrap around the mountain a little more, so it would probably be like 3 of these, and then backwards 2, and then 1, and then it would stop there, and the road would sort of curve with it, if you can imagine that. So that's sort of what I'm going to go for here. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was a little more experimental this time, so not kind of like one build like the other ones, but more just a brainstorm to see what we could do. And I really like this big wooden Goliath, or a big stone Goliath, but with some wood accents. I think it really helps. I'm not sure about this. Maybe I could do a different color wood, like the planks instead. Let's try it out real quick, and then we'll wrap up the episode. I'm just curious. So we'll go to this side and come up here, and it goes all the way down to here. Let's just try that. I'm just curious if it'll look better or worse or what. I do kind of like that. Maybe a little better. Even though I typically use the logs for like big supports, I think it's like too much, too dark with the rest of these kind of grayish blocks. I think it needs like a little more of a pastel contrast there, so I kind of like this better. And then you could tie it in a little bit more with some more highlight blocks here and there. I don't know. Even just like having, certain things like this, so that, it'd be like some place where guards look out of, perhaps like this. So I don't know, we'll see. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap up the episode now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have a nice life.